Without any further ado, I'm going to introduce live right here on Coffee Radio, WKRIS.com, the special guest of the evening, Miss Adina Porter. What's going on?
Hey, how are you?
Everything is good. Everything is good. I want to say thank you for taking some time out of your busy schedule to just take a moment and come on my show to just let some of your fans hear your voice in an interview setting, because I trust me, a lot of people, once I put out on the flyer that I'm going to have Miss Porter on, the first thing people were like, because just let you know some little background, my show is primarily a Caribbean show, Jamaica. I'm Jamaican, but we love movies. We love watching shows. And when the opportunity arose, and then I put it out there, because everybody, when the first thing people said was, "Oh, that's a lady from True Blood."
Yes.
So I say, yo, I definitely had to have you on. So I want to say thank you again for taking some time out to come on my show.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right. I know, first of all, I got to ask you, because I did my research on you. And when I did my research, I was so surprised to see how you started in the business, because from my side of the fence, from the non-actor actress perspective, we have this belief that people just get up one day and say, "Oh, I want to be an actor, I want to be an actress," and then they go to Hollywood and then they get picked up and the rest is history. But I want you to just tell people what started you out in the business.
Well, I've always wanted to be an actor. I don't know where that dream came from, but from as far back as I can remember, I wanted to be an actor. And I grew up in New York City. I'm from the Bronx. And one day in junior high school, we were doing a production of Pearly Victoria, and I auditioned for it and got into it, and the guidance counselor thought I was pretty good and told me I should audition for the LaGuardia School of the Arts, the High School of Performing Arts. So that's the Fame School for the older folks who remember that TV show and the movie before that. So I auditioned for that. I got in, and then I auditioned for SUNY Purchase, State University of New York College of Purchase, and got into that. The senior year, agents came to look at the new crop of actors. An agent was interested in me, and I'm basically still with that same agency. So I just started on a path and just kind of kept on going and following that path, and here I am.
And I had to ask you, because the way you made it sound a while ago, what I'm hearing is you went out, you did your audition, you got in. Were there some obstacles that you faced, or was it seamless?
I did theater for many, many years in New York. And so I'm very lucky to say that there's never been a year where I haven't had, where acting wasn't a part of my life. But for many years, I also had to have other survival jobs. But I had enough acting jobs and enough auditions that I always felt encouraged to stay in it. To be honest, I didn't give up my last survival job until the third year of True Blood.
Wow. The third year, that's the third season?
Yeah, the third season of True Blood. And I was at my survival job, people were beginning to notice and say something, and so that's when I thought, okay, well, let me try to just do acting.
Wow. Because I would think that once you get on the first, you get your first break, quote unquote break. I would think that I would expect to hear that you just said, "Hey, that's when I just took off and said, you know what, this is what I want to do." So that's kind of good to hear, because trust me, that for me definitely debunks some myth I have or hear about actors or actresses out there. Because that is what that is my impression. Like, you get into a movie and that's it. The roles will come.
No. Because I think you always will have to prove yourself.
Okay.
And and I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth, so sometimes I think that there's always a fear that I'll run out of money. So I always like to have other things going on to make sure that the bills get paid. And when you walk into an audition and it's more about what I can do with this role, it's a lot easier to get it than walking into the audition with, I need this for health insurance, or I need this to pay a bill.
Right.
So I like not having that pressure on my back.
Got you. So I got to ask you this then, because has there ever been a role, because I've had the opportunity to interview some other actors, and also hearing about Heath Ledger with what happened with him and the Joker, and that kind of opened my eyes that when you play a role, the switch doesn't just go off. So like for example, Lady May in True Blood. So when you go home, how hard is it to break character for you in some of your roles? And is there a role that it was difficult for you to break character?
Oh gosh, that's a really good question. Is there a role where, well, with Letty May, I couldn't bring that role home to my kids. They would come and take my children away. And for the 100, I definitely know, I feel like Indra has seeped into my life, and that badass. I now develop a bit of a strut that's Indra's walk, that now becomes part of my Adina Porter walk. Right. And the other day, actually, I kind of felt like it was slipping away. I guess I felt like I've been on hiatus too long. I got a little nervous. I was like, no, I don't want to go back. I want to stay badass. So I like that. But I guess I've learned, I would bring my acting home, or even not getting the part home early on. I remember in my marriage. And that's not very fair to my husband or to anyone's mate. If you get a part, you walk in the door, you're all shiny and everything. And if you don't get a part, you make everybody pay. And I learned that's just not fair. And men don't like to hang around you too long if you do that. So I kind of let go of that.
True.
Pretty early on. So I leave the acting at the studio. I don't bring it home.
Oh, that's very refreshing to hear, because especially what happened with Heath Ledger and playing Joker, and I was like, wow, so I can just imagine if you were to bring Lady May home. Hey. But I'm a huge fan of True Blood. Like once I got this opportunity, I'm gonna let you know this. Your character, and I can't remember her name right now, but the other waitress that she ended up having.
Either Suki, you mean, or Tara, my daughter?
Not Suki, the other one. The one that had the dead husband or the dead boyfriend, and he came back to life as a ghost or whatever. And he was
he came back to life. You mean Carrie Preston? Yes. Is that who we're talking about?
Yeah.
The redhead?
Yeah, the redhead. You
yes,
and her, your characters. But when I watch True Blood, I'm thinking to myself, if I was to be in that time, in this setting, with all of these supernaturals running around me, I would probably ended up acting that like Lady May. But I would go crazy too, because you have a lot of these things running around and I can't do anything about it. So I always found that funny. I always found that, that was just a funny part to me about that movie. Just to let you know, I'm a huge fan of you in that movie, because in that whole show, because I watch every one of them. But I gotta ask you this too, as an African American actress, female, and we hear, I won't even ask you the cliche question about how hard it is in Hollywood and yada yada yada, because I guarantee, I know that you've been asked that many times. But what do you have to tell, like, the young girl right now that is listening, or the young girl is going to hear this interview and say that she wants to become an actress? What would you tell a young Adina Porter coming up, when you were, like I read in your bio when you said you were in your bathtub and that's where you had your quiet space? If you were to go back in that time and tell yourself to prepare yourself for the road ahead, what advice would you give yourself?
I would tell the young Adina, you just need to be completely true to yourself, and that you are absolutely enough. I spent too many years trying to look like what I thought was acceptable. And when I did that, when I go look back at those pictures, I definitely didn't look as good. And because why get an imitation when you can find someone else who looks like that? And I wasted so much time and energy with either some hairdos or things that that weren't truly me. And then when I would walk into an audition, there was a part of me that knew that it wasn't truly me, or it was like, "Ooh, it doesn't look that good today." And now that I walk in being me, there's a confidence, there's a freedom, there's a relaxation that I guess is translating because I'm working like crazy.
Right.
And so I mean, look, we live and we learn, and when we know better, we do better. And what I learned from not allowing my true self to just shine early on, I'm sure feeds into different characters. Because I think it's a very human emotion, and I think it probably is very human and very female emotion. But what I'll tell my daughter when she gets old enough, and what I tell my son, don't apologize. Don't try to be anyone else. Just be you. Just do you. And either it will come, it'll work, or this isn't your path, and something else will work. But don't try to be somebody else.
Right. And that definitely can equate to all facets, or that's applicable to all facets of life, not only in acting, but just anything that you want to do. And for all the young people that are out there listening, take Miss Adina's advice to heart, and is very. Trust me, I'm taking your advice. As old as I am, I'm going to take your advice, and I'm going to apply it to my life. So a lot of people out there should do the same. So like you said earlier, you're constantly working. What are the projects you're on right now? Because you did reference Indra, who is in the
right.
100, and she, like
right.
you said, she's a badass, and she's
yes,
a
she
warrior
is.
princess, like a black Xena.
Thank you. Yes, I've having a wonderful time with the 100, and we got picked up for a 4th season, so you'll see me there. I've just finished working with the amazing Shonda Rhimes again, this time on her TV show, The Catch, and I had a brilliant time there. There's a movie I did with Shirley MacLaine called The Last Word, and you'll see that sometime next year. And there's a pilot that I did. We'll see if that moves forward or not. I'm excited about that for ABC. But you always got to continue proving yourself. Tomorrow I go off for another audition. So always making things happen.
So you're definitely working to not having, what do you call it, survival jobs anymore, right?
No, I don't. Right now I don't. Except what else I do is that I own real estate. When I make good money, I buy a piece of property and fix up the house on it and rent it out. So that's another form of income. So I'm not going to be one of those actresses you hear about or actors you hear about who, made a lot of money and then all of a sudden, they're broke.
That's definitely for your roots in New York.
Yeah, I grew up that way. I'm not going back. So I definitely believe in multiple streams of income.
Yeah, but you know it's not fair though. I'm gonna tell you why it's not fair. That you're doing real estate. Just so imagine me now. I'm telling you now that I am a huge fan of yours from True Blood, and I'm going to rent a property. And I walk in and I see you sitting there. I don't want an inspection to say, just give me the paper, I'll sign it. So here you go. Yeah, just give it to me. I'm good. So, and how can people not to say keep in touch, but how can people find out more other than just going to the IMBD website? Because I know you have a website, right? AdinaPorter.com.
Yes, AdinaPorter.com. Right. Yes. And my Instagram is Adina Porter, and if you want to talk to me on Twitter, it's Adina Porter. I'm very lucky with a name like Adina. I don't have to share it with too many people. It's a family name. I got it from my grandmother. So, yeah, that's how you can find me, Adina Porter.
So big up Grandma Adina. And I got to apologize because I've been pronouncing your name as Adina. But
No, you're not mispronouncing it because that's how my grandmother pronounced it, Adina. And it's a family name and it's pronounced Adina. But then my mom wanted to make it a little bit different, so she calls me Adina, and that kind of stuck. So either way is correct. Actually, I'm mispronouncing my name by saying Adina.
I was gonna ask if you have a little rebellious streak that is holding over from the teenage years, you know. I was gonna ask you that. and then my other cop-out was gonna be, since I'm Jamaican and this is a Caribbean show or Caribbean station, you know, like us in Jamaica, we say cucumber, like Americans say cucumber, we say cucumber. So you guys say tomato, I say tomato. So I was gonna say, hey, yes. Tomato. Adina.
Yes. Yes, for the family gatherings, I'm Adina.
There you go. So, Miss Adina Porter, I want to say thank you very much for passing through here on Koffee Radio. You definitely opened some eyes, you opened some ears. I promise you have some new fans out there because they now know that you're not the uppity, uptight type actors or actresses that walk around with a sweater tied around their neck. They know that you're a down-to-earth lady, and I know a lot of people respect that. I want to say much more.
I appreciate that. And you know what? I'm sorry, I didn't put a plug out for Underground. That's on tonight. And if folks haven't seen it from the beginning, you can go to iTunes and catch it too. Underground. It's an amazing show that I feel very, very proud to be a part of. I get to play Pearly May on Underground. So that's something else.
Yeah. Say it again.
That's something else that I'm very proud of that's happening right now. Is Underground. I'm very proud of that show. So please have folks, check that out. Underground on the WGN.
All right, there you go. To Underground on the WGN. I really enjoyed this conversation to just know that, again, like, you're very down to earth. A lot of people are respecting that right now, and I'm getting you should probably hear my phone buzzing in the background. They're all texting me right now saying, hey, they love the interview, they love Letty May, and they want to drink with Letty May. I'm going to leave that one alone. But hey, that's what they say. Right? So.
I thank you, sir.
All right, so have a good evening, and I'll definitely look out for your shows. People, look out for the Underground tonight on WGN. And it's actually starting now, right?
Yes.
So, hey, everybody, go check out Underground right now on WGN. Miss Adina Porter, once again, thank you very much. Have a blessed evening and more prosperity to you and the family, okay?
I thank you, sir. You too. Bye-bye.
Respect.